Greetings, I'm Pastor Eric Smith, and this is Wakening Grace. Today's guest for Wakening Grace is Reverend Steve Petty. Steve is a retired United Methodist minister and former pastor of St. Andrews by the Sea. Welcome, Steve.
Hi, friends. If you are like me, you have found these times to be troubling. We are experiencing distress in our personal lives. But as we watch the news, we see our society experiencing lots of distress and confusion. Something has happened to us that none of us expected. We find it very difficult to deal with the unexpected. Watching people demonstrate in streets carrying automatic weapons with little regard for anyone's personal safety is disturbing, even frightening. But when we stop to think about it, we all know that people react to the unknown in different ways. This reminds me of a truly formative event in my life. When I was 10, my family decided to take a vacation to Yellowstone National Park. On the night of August 17th, 1959, we found ourselves crammed in a tiny room on the top floor of the Old Faithful Inn, a historic hotel built with huge logs. At the end of a long day of sightseeing, we were snuggled down in 2 double beds and fast asleep when the building began to shake violently. It sounded like a train was blasting through the lobby. My mother rolled over and grabbed my dad, screaming, "Charles, what is that?" To which he calmly replied, "It's an earthquake. Go back to sleep." My mother jumped up, grabbed my sister by the arm, and dragged her from the room, screaming, "We can't stay here. This building will fall down." After they left, I looked at my dad and said, "What should we do?" He said, "Well, first I think we should get dressed." So we calmly got dressed, packed our bags, and walked down the dust-filled hallway and staircase to find a couple hundred very confused people standing in the lobby in their pajamas and nightgowns, looking straight up at 5 stories of giant logs. When we finally found my mother and sister, she repeated her fears. "This building is going to fall down!" To which my dad replied, "So you were standing underneath it?" We spent the night in our car, with an empty gas tank, watching new geysers spout tons of hot water into the air, just a few yards from our front bumper. It was a memorable event in my life, not just because of the earthquake, but because I watched 2 people I loved respond in entirely different ways to a devastating calamity. I learned a valuable lesson that stayed with me my whole life. When the unexpected happens, some people will be afraid and react without really thinking things through, often doing things that end up putting them in even more peril. But just doing something seems important to them. It gives them a false sense of being in control. Other people respond slowly, choosing not to take action until they have more information. They are cautious, deliberate, careful, and more likely to choose a course of action that will give them the best chance of survival. I know these times are difficult, and many of us want to rush back to some idea of normal. Let me encourage you to wait. Remember the encouragement of Isaiah 40:31. "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Please know that each and every one of you is important to God. You are known. You are not lost or forgotten. We will get through this together. God will not abandon you. Wait. Wait until the time is right, and when it is safe, you too shall rise up with wings like eagles. Amen.